Hello, everybody. My name is Jim Freimer. I'm the festival director of Out on Film, Atlanta's LGBTQ film festival. This is our 37th year of presenting stories about our community. We have an amazing lineup this year. One of our favorites is Maxxie LaWow, drag queen super-shero. We're going to talk to the creator, producer, and director, Anthony Han, in a moment. But first of all, let me read a description. Shy young barista Simon stumbles upon a magical pink wig that transforms him into Maxxie LaWow, a fabulous drag queen super-shero. Maxxie must confront Dyna Bolical, a villainous queen who's been kidnapping her drag competition to steal their magical anti-aging tears. This film is so much fun, and I'm so glad that we're going to be able to present it. It's part of our lineup this year. Welcome, Anthony.
Thank you so much. I'm delighted to be here, and thank you so much for selecting Maxie. I can't wait to
Absolutely. We are
show it.
it's such a magical, inventive, joyous film. So I cannot wait to share it with our audience. How did this project come up for you?
Well, the short answer is I might have been stoned.
Okay.
No, really, it was 2018 when I came up with the original idea for Simon, and I had just seen yet another, comic book tentpole movie,
Yeah.
and uh, and I was just thinking, we're past due to have a queer superhero and a film all about that queer superhero. And I'm really proud to say that Maxie is the first animated film with a drag queen superhero.
Mhm.
And so at that time, I started thinking, kind of meditating on the idea of what would a queer superhero, like built from the ground up purposefully to be a queer superhero, be like. Now, the short answer, of course, is that they could be anyone and have any kind of power and do anything. But I was really inspired as a fan of RuPaul's Drag Race
Mhm.
by the stories of the queens, as they're getting ready for the sort of the fashion runway segment of the show. Many of the queens talk about their challenges, the things they've had to overcome to get where they are, and they also talk about how as they're in that process of putting on the makeup and putting on the hip pads and the breastplates and the costume and everything, how they sort of transform internally as well
Yeah.
from being maybe someone who's more shy on the street, uh, or more introverted perhaps in real life, to this drag persona that is larger than life, extroverted. They can do anything, they can tackle any problem. They're performing on stage in front of a live audience, and they just really uncover that superhero inside, that super-shero inside.
Yeah.
And I just found so much strength in those kinds of stories, and I wanted to reflect that in this film.
So you always envisioned this as being an animated project, correct?
Well, in the beginning, I considered other kinds of media. For example, I considered whether to do it as a comic book or as
Mhm.
a regular novel, or as a short web series. And then I settled finally on an animated feature-length film,
Mhm.
in part because I thought that this was probably uh, the best vehicle to tell the story right now, and also a great vehicle to reach a large audience. With the flowering of drag around the world and RuPaul's Drag Race franchises popping up, like in countries around the world, like mushrooms after a rainstorm. So I think one thing that RuPaul's been doing amazingly well is bringing drag to the mainstream audience, and I
Exactly.
think that also helps, us find our allies in these countries around the world and help them understand who we are as people, and through this immensely powerful storytelling medium.
Let's talk about Simon. Let's talk about Simon, Shy Simon, and how he transforms into Maxie and how, being Maxie just kind of wakens him up and makes him and just sort of brings him out.
Yeah, so like those RuPaul's Drag Race queens, Simon is a shy young man. He's on the cusp of turning 21, and he's kind of stuck in his life. He graduated from high school. He's still working at the Pink Unicorn Cafe. Nothing wrong with that. But his friends from school have gone on to college or the military service or something else, and he's just kind of stuck. He's not going anywhere. Doesn't have a vision for what he wants to do for his life, and he's constantly kind of afraid. And he has a crush who comes into the cafe nearly every day. He's
Yeah.
too shy to ask his crush out, and so yeah, by becoming this magical drag queen, he discovers that inside himself he's had the power all along. Kind of
Mhm.
like kind of like Dorothy in The Wizard of Oz discovering that she had the power to go home already. It
Exactly.
was it was inside of her.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about this ensemble. This is a really, really great cast.
Yeah.
Just tell me about gathering all these people together.
Wow. So it's kind of funny. So I've never made a film before, and so diving straight into the deep end of the pool into animation has been, let's just say, it's been quite a learning journey. But I've been able to make incredible connections along the way, and
Yeah.
one of the most incredible connections I've made is with JP Karliak, who is our casting director and voiceover director. Now, JP is like one of the hardest working voiceover actors in Hollywood. He's the voice of Boss Baby in the Netflix series. He's also
Yeah.
the voice of Morph in X-Men '97. He's been doing this for years. He's incredible. And he is also the founder of an organization called QueerVox, which and it's Queer VOX, QueerVox, which teaches LGBTQ plus actors how to do voiceover for animation, for gaming, for audiobooks, and so on.
Hmm.
And as a result, he's just incredibly well connected. Uh,
Yeah.
and he, and this was his first voiceover direction job. And so I'm so thankful he came on board. We talked about where I kind of wanted to go for these characters, and he was able to reach out and get the actors and the representation to respond. When I tried doing this before JP, they weren't really responding to me. So, so thankfully, once he got on board, then folks were, and so yeah. So thanks to him, for example, the highest profile actor from an acting perspective is probably Lorraine Newman, who was in the original cast of Saturday Night Live.
Of course.
And
Yeah. I love Lorraine Newman. I mean,
yeah,
yeah.
she's an amazing talent, super cool human being. She is a wonderful ally to the queer community. In fact, both of her kids are in the LGBTQ plus community as well. And yeah, she's just been incredible. And then we have five of the queens from RuPaul's Drag Race who joined our cast in sort
Yeah.
of like cameo roles. So we've got Jinx Monsoon, Ben de la Creme, Money Exchange, Heidi in Closet, and Rosé. And yeah, we were able to get them thanks to JP Karliak, but also thanks to Darcy Drollinger, who's an associate producer on the project. If you
Mhm.
don't know Darcy, she owns the Oasis nightclub and cabaret in San Francisco,
Yeah.
which is probably, and she's the first drag laureate in San Francisco and probably the first drag laureate in the world. She's just incredibly well connected and has been such a wonderful support for this film as well.
So you mentioned earlier that there hasn't really been a film with a queer superhero. Why?
You know, I can speculate, you know, in the series, in the world of TV series, I'm glad to say that we, in recent years, have been seeing some wonderful
Hmm.
representation in animation. For example, Has Been Hotel recently launched this year on Amazon Prime.
Yeah.
It has a queer lead and it's deliciously queer. It's fantastic. Uh, we have The Owl House with the bisexual lead character who's like in middle school, I think, or high school. And it's wonderful. In fact, one of the actors from Owl House, Avi Roque, is also a voiceover actor on Maxxie.
Yeah.
So we've seen wonderful representations in series, but not in animation in film. And I am ignoring what was it, Wonderful Journey or whatever from Disney recently, where the lead gay character it was almost like a side thing. It wasn't really part of
Yeah.
the story. Yeah. But yeah, so this is really the first, as far as I'm aware, indie animated film with a lead LGBTQ actor as well as villain, and of course one who's a superhero or super-shero in this case.
Yeah. At a time in our country where there's such where there's anti-LGBTQIA legislation, where
Yeah.
there's anti-trans sentiment, there's anti-drag sentiment. Why is it so important to have this film right now?
My goodness. So our community is so under stress and pressure from all corners. It's really, really crazy in America right now, and worse in many other countries abroad. And so with Maxie being just a fun, campy, joyous, and uplifting film, I think we need that also.
Hmm.
We need to have films about people coming out. We need to have films about people falling in love. The whole gamut of queer stories. We need to see these representation in film and series.
Hmm.
But one thing I love about Maxie in particular is just the joyous diversity of the film,
Yeah.
of the characters in it, and we have all sorts of flavors of queer in our film also, which is wonderful.
Hmm.
And I think that when times are tough, especially, we need to be able to double down and just experience that joy in film with that
Exactly.
representation too.
Exactly. Um, so you're still pretty early in your festival run in terms of getting this out there. Talk to me a little bit about that.
Yeah, so we just finished post a matter of minutes ago, probably. And so we had our world premiere for festivals 2 weeks ago in Palm Springs at Cinema Diverse. And
Mhm.
I'm thrilled that Out on Film is our next stop in our film festival journey. So again, thank you so much for that. And in addition, every weekend in the month of October here in 2024, we have a different film festival screening.
Mhm.
Out in Film this weekend. Next to Seattle Queer, Newport Beach, and then to Outshine in Miami.
Nice.
So just delighted that this run, and I have additional submissions out there that are still pending, and so additional responses coming in. So hopefully we'll have more fun announcements soon.
That's great. So what is the long-term goal with the film? Do you want to get it in theatrical release? Or you in talks to try to do that, or trying to get it, available on streaming, or what's the long-term goal you're looking for?
Oh, all the above.
Okay.
I mean, ideally, it would be really cool to get a theatrical distribution of some sort.
Yeah.
It's wicked expensive, and the the cinema industry right now is really challenged with just keeping their doors open. So
I
who
agree.
knows how that's going to work out? I really, really hope we can make something work. At
Yeah.
the very least, I'm looking forward to doing sort of invitational screenings where
Mhm.
we work with local theaters around the country to have a variety of local screenings. I think if we can arrange that, and I would love to see local drag talent come out and perform too
Mhm.
live at those screenings, and then also ideally have some local community representation like PFLAG
Yeah.
or Mom Hugs or the Trevor Project or whatever come out too. So we'll see what happens with regards to local screenings post the film festival run.
Yeah.
And then with regards to online availability, we'll do the whole gamut of, buying and renting on iTunes and Amazon
Mhm.
and wherever you sort of get those, as well as we'll see what other kinds of streamers pick up Maxi too. So those are all TBD.
That's great. All right. Maxxie LaWow, drag queen super-shero, debuts at Out on Film Sunday, October the 6th at 12 at the Midtown Arts Cinema as part of Out on Film. And then it's available streaming for a week. The film is amazing. It's so much fun and entertaining. I can't wait for people to see it. Anthony Hand, creator, director, producer, thank you for sharing this film with us with the audiences. And we look forward to screening it. I look forward to meeting you this weekend.
Me too. Thank you so much. See you there.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.